What's up, Orland family? This is Counselor Briggs. Just brought you guys a video series on coping with stress and stressful situations, some mindfulness techniques, some breathing techniques, muscle relaxing techniques. I was thinking about it as I was driving to Lowe's with my dad, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is a man that has worked in a field that is a very stressful field. An exciting field, and one where being level-headed and coping with stress and managing stress and stressful situations was paramount to his success and survival. So while he is here operating the camera, because we got to be all hands-free, I figured this would be a great opportunity for me to kind of share with him, or share him with you guys, to kind of get you some extra learning and some extra material. So my dad, Mr. Briggs, or Papa Briggs. So Dad, would you please share with our viewers a little bit about your career and background, some of the stuff that you did that was provided some stressful situations and whatnot?
You bet, son. I was a federal agent for 30 years, and some of the things I did, primarily, a lot of it in the last 20 years, was executive protection, dignitary protection. I was on different presidential details, our past presidents, foreign dignitary protection. I was also on our SWAT team for a number of years, and then I became an explosive specialist, utilizing explosives properly, legally, and doing undercover assignments, buying weapons, buying explosives, buying narcotics well, I don't know if this is politically correct, from crooks. So these were pretty stressful situations, not only the work I was doing, but wanting to make sure that my family was safe in the process of my being gone, and bad guys knowing where I live, and those kind of things. What I found in thinking about this assignment that my son wanted to share with you, one of the things that I think was most useful to me, there was about three, but one of the first things is preparation. In your life, you probably have a number of things that cause stress for you that have to do with you having to perform in a certain environment and in a certain way to minimize the stress that you could have if you weren't prepared for it, right? Like having to write a 3-page paper on a topic given to you by your teacher, or by having to take a test on chapters 12 through 18. Or having your least favorite aunt come over to the house for the whole weekend. Could be any number of those things, or finding information out about your friends that maybe it was something you really didn't want them to find out about, that you said, but well, here it goes, it got out. So in preparation, you can find a lot of peace by learning how to do a thing the right way and repetitively practice it. In my line of work, we spent hours and hours and hours and hours doing things very slowly, very repetitively, over and over again. How to do it in a safe environment, in a safe way, a non-stress environment. A lot of practice, preparation, learning the right way to do things, learning how things work. Much like your reading of chapters 15 or 12 through 18, you're preparing, you're reading, you're getting familiar with the material, you're on the football team, you're learning plays, you're putting that in your mind and you're practicing it. That was huge in my life. Paying attention to everything I could read, everything I could practice. I also found it very useful to watch people who were very good at what they did. I learned from some of the best undercover agents that are on speaking circuits now throughout the U.S. on the things they did. And I got to learn from them. And I watched and I said, yeah, I want to do it like they do it. So I think preparation is huge, because you can then go into a situation, and when things start getting stressful, you're not having to think so much about, well, what do I do? But you rely back on your training. You rely back on your preparation. Can you imagine having to take a test on something, chapters 12 through 18 again, and you've never even opened the book? Or that favorite aunt of yours, your least favorite aunt, comes over for the weekend, and you have no idea what's going to set her off, or what would be a good conversation that would make her happy and everybody gets along, that kind of thing. So preparation is very helpful there. Now, were you thinking about something along the lines of mindfulness?
Yeah, so kind of, I guess it would fall in line with situational awareness, is what mindfulness kind of ties in with.
Oh, very good.
Yes, one of your favorite topics, situational
right.
awareness.
Yeah, you know what? It's a lot of fun to daydream. It's a lot of fun to go through your mind. What if? Gosh, I wish I was here. I wish I'd be doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a time and a place for everything. And when you're in that stressful situation, two things need to be going on. Your situational awareness needs to be telling you what is happening right now. Am I in danger? Am I about ready to say or do something that's going to cause a problem? Once you assess the situation, you can decide, how do I create a less stressful environment? Sometimes saying more is better. A lot of times saying less is best. Paying attention to people's body language, paying attention to what they say and how they say it, paying attention to the expectations going into that situation. Once again, we're back to chapters 12 through 18. If you know what's needed ahead of time, prepare yourself, and then when you go into that situation of taking that test, know that there's going to be a lot of things that you can answer and that you can do, and you do your best. And when you come across something that you get stuck on, do your best there and then move on. Don't get stressed out. So that would be the mindfulness and situational awareness that I would suggest. Also, because of my religious orientation, as a Christian, I like to look to the Bible for things that bring me peace. And one of the quotes in Scripture talks about keeping your mind in perfect peace, whose mind is focused on God. So realizing that He's taking care of you, you're responsible for your due diligence, but He's with you, and that's what it's been for me, and it's worked out very well. And I'm blessed to be here with my son, and I hope this is helpful to you. You'll do well.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said in the first video in this little mini series or playlist, we get told a lot of times of things to do when you can get out if you want. You're good. Things that you need to do to be ready, prepared to, or things to manage and cope with stress and stressful situations. I also mentioned that there are a number of things, that you can do where you're actually doing nothing, or you're focusing on your breathing, you're focusing on what's going on around you. That situational awareness I was mentioning. Part of not doing something is being prepared in advance for it. Practicing beforehand so that when a situation or thing or circumstance or a stressful environment arises, you're not sitting there having to focus on that specific situation or task or whatever it is, you're there, you're ready, you knew it was coming eventually, or this is something that's not a surprise to you. That doing that practice and preparation, it helps you to not have to focus on it later down the road, which means if you're not having to focus on it, you're not having to really work hard to get that thing exactly perfect, you're not doing stuff, you're doing less, essentially. So I'd recommend and encourage you guys to, like my dad was saying, practice, be prepared. With this whole COVID-19 thing, I know that it's hard to prepare for school to be shut down, essentially, for society to be shut down and gone crazy. I know that that's something that's kind of hard to prepare for, but at least practicing mindfulness and practicing situational awareness and practicing how to think clearly and thinking clearly in stressful situations helps to prepare you for things like now. So I'll add this to the video list eventually when I get everything uploaded. So have a good one, stay safe, work on your mindfulness and preparedness. Catch y'all later. Fare thee well.